Now, obviously, one of the reasons we love Brisbane so much at the moment is the 2032 Olympic Games and the fact there's just so many people moving up here, yet the state is so affordable and the city is so affordable when you compare it to Sydney and Melbourne. Today, I'm going to sit down with my sister Crystal, who together we bought more than $450 million worth of property in Brisbane in the last 9 years, and talk about 3 simple ways that you can get into the city right now for under 500K. So let's talk about the first one, Crystal, which is houses.
It's hard to believe that you could buy a house anywhere close to a capital city in Australia right now for under 500K, but the reality is in areas like South Brisbane or West Brisbane, so we're talking about the Logan Council area or Ipswich, where there are still houses out there that range between about $420,000 and $500,000. When it comes to what to expect that house to look like if you were to buy a property in that sort of price range right now in Brisbane, it is going to be a little bit of a shitbox. So unfortunately, it's probably going to be a simple 2 or 3 bedroom home that needs a little bit of work. So you're not going to find something that's completely polished around the edges at that price point, though you will find something that's considered tenant ready right now. So it doesn't necessarily mean you need to overhaul the property today, but it is something that will require maintenance and probably a cosmetic renovation over the next sort of 10 to 15 years.
You know, I'm glad you called it what it is, because if you didn't say it, I was going to say it. And what type of land size can we expect, and what type of distance from the city would we be expecting for that price range?
For that sort of price point, you're going to get a property that's on it anywhere between 400 to about 600 square metre block of land. So something big enough that a good sized house can fit at the front, you've got a little bit of yard space, a decent backyard, and something that you'd still want to live in or that tenants are going to want to rent. Your distance to the city is anywhere between about 25 and 35 kilometres from the city for that kind of sub 500K range. There's a couple of examples of suburbs that we're buying in right now or that we're looking at right now, including East Ipswich or Coal Falls out over in Ipswich, a couple of suburbs in the Logan Council area like Kingston and Marsden that are only about 23Ks to the city.
You know, traditionally these suburbs, like the ones in Sydney and Melbourne that were that price sort of 10, 15 years ago, are more the up and comers, although the average household incomes in those suburbs is growing rapidly at the moment. The vacancy rates are extremely, extremely low, and they're all extremely close to the CBD. So obviously the result of that is going to be longer term capital growth as those areas continue to gentrify and improve over time. Now, the second option we've got for property in Brisbane right now that's under 500K is high quality townhouses. Do you want to sort of walk us through that one?
This is a pretty exciting opportunity. So there's townhouses available anywhere from about 7 to 15 kilometres of the CBD in that middle ring of the city. Or if you head to the north or south beaches of Brisbane, you might be 20, 30 Ks from the city, but you're within a couple of kilometres of the water to have a townhouse anywhere between that $450,000 and $500,000 price point.
And again, so what would these townhouses be looking like? What would the size of the complexes we'd be targeting? And what are some of the features of them in terms of bedrooms, bathrooms and stuff?
In these quality suburbs, the size of the townhouse ideally is about 2 bedrooms. You might get 1 to 2 bedrooms, 1 to 2 bathrooms for that price point. We're targeting townhouses in smaller complexes, so anywhere between about 5 to 20 townhouses in a complex maximum. The floor plan's about 60 square metres or more. Ideally above 70 square metres, you're going to get a better flow, bigger bedrooms, bigger living areas, that sort of thing. The good thing with townhouses in this budget is that they are a lower maintenance option. So where a house around 500K is going to require some renovation, townhouses around or below 500K generally are relatively low maintenance, something that doesn't need work immediately, and is likely to rent somewhere between about $480 to $520 per week. So the return on investment's pretty exciting as well.
Really the third option in Brisbane at the moment, which is suburbs between about 12 and 30 to 35 Ks from the city, where you can actually buy townhouses right now for under 450K. And I'm not talking about 2 to 3 bedroom townhouses that are a little bit smaller. I'm talking really well-sized 3 bedroom ones. So do you want to talk about the locations that they're available in, what they're renting for and the features there?
To get into the townhouse market under 450K, you're anywhere from South Brisbane, West Brisbane, in some instances North or East Brisbane, 15 to 30 Ks from the city, and the complexes are amazing. In this strategy, you're getting anywhere from a 2 to 3 bedroom, 2 to 3 bathroom even townhouse, often a bigger floor plan, so 80 square metres to about 120 square metre townhouse in really small complexes that have great access to amenities. So you're often really close to schools, really close to bus routes or train lines, really close to the major shopping centres, hospitals or universities. When you head that little bit further from the city, you really do get a lot of bang for your buck in the townhouse market right now in Brisbane.
You know, I bought one for one of my best mates recently from Sydney. He had a sub 350k budget. He picked up a 3-bedroom townhouse about 20 k's to the north side of the city, and I think it's renting for almost $500 a week right now. So regardless of where you sit, whether you'd prefer the house a little bit further from the city, the high quality townhouse really close to the city, or the quality townhouse within sort of 15 to 30 k's of the city, there are some incredible options available in Brisbane for smart investors right now. Now, one of the things that I like as a massive data geek right now, and having a good history of Sydney and Melbourne personally from my own research, is the fact that houses in parts of Brisbane have done quite well in recent years, but townhouses have not gone through the same cycle of growth as they have in the likes of Sydney or Melbourne now. So what happened in Sydney and Melbourne over the last 15 years is houses went nuts first, and then when people could no longer afford houses, townhouses doubled in value as well. But in Brisbane right now, in a lot of these incredibly high quality suburbs, townhouses have done less than 30% in the last 10 to 12 years. So they represent incredibly good medium to longer term upside from capital growth perspective, and the rent returns are phenomenal on them as well. Now, for those of you seriously thinking about entering the Brisbane market in the next 12 months, I'd love to offer you a one-on-one strategy session. Just jump over to www.pumpedonproperty.com, click that free strategy session button, and we can talk about exactly where you are right now, where you'd like to be longer term. We can educate you on these ideas plus some others in Brisbane right now, and then you can take that information and go and absolutely smash it on your own, or potentially become one of the extremely small number of clients that we work with here at Pumped on Property each month. But either way, we wish you absolutely all the best moving forward on your journey to financial freedom and financial peace.
Woo! That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Getting
Have a
cool,
spin.
bro. Yeah. Oh, sweaty. So sweaty. Oh, that's good. Look at that.
So nice, eh?